Ever close your eyes, praying for a peaceful night's sleep, only for your brain to slam down a gavel and open a tribunal to judge your entire existence? If the night is when you toss and turn with 1,000 racing thoughts, you aren't alone, and you aren't broken. You simply possess some incredibly unique and often misunderstood psychological traits. Welcome to dark, deep psychology. In the pitch black, when the world finally shuts up, that is exactly when certain minds crank into overdrive. The ticking of the clock and the dead silence of your room don't bring relaxation. They become the main stage for relentless, spiraling thoughts. People always say, overthinking is just torturing yourself. But deep psychology reveals something entirely different. Nighttime overthinking is a highly sophisticated, albeit exhausting, defense mechanism of your brain. Here are 5 hidden traits of people who overthink at night. Let's see how many of these you recognize in yourself. 1. The Catastrophizing Loop. Nighttime overthinkers never just stop at a simple problem. They have a ruthless superpower, the ability to turn a single grain of sand into a raging Category 5 hurricane. Your brain doesn't just recall an event. It automatically branches out into hundreds of the absolute worst-case scenarios. Let's say, during the day, you send an email to your boss or a text to a friend, and they reply with a flat, one-word, okay. In the hustle of the day, you brush it off. But when the sun goes down, that 2-letter word starts to mutate. You start asking yourself, why were they so blunt? Did I mess up that project last week? Are they secretly judging my competence? Am I about to get fired? From a simple, okay, your brain has painted a vivid, terrifying picture of you being unemployed, broke, and losing everything. This isn't delusion. In psychology, this is the prepare for the worst mechanism of a highly sensitive nervous system. You overthink because you desperately want to protect yourself from sudden shocks. But the cruel irony is that you're just manufacturing those shocks in your own imagination. 2. Belated micro-expression analysis. Nighttime overthinkers usually have off-the-charts emotional intelligence and empathy, but they weaponize it against themselves. When you lie in bed, you start rewinding the day's conversations like a slow-motion movie, ruthlessly analyzing the tiniest facial expressions and shifts in tone of the people you interacted with. For example, you grabbed lunch with a friend, you told a joke, and they laughed. But at 2 a.m., you suddenly remember that their eyes looked a little forced, or their smile dropped a fraction of a second too fast. Instantly, your brain sounds the alarm. Did I overstep? Was that joke offensive? Do they actually secretly hate me? You absorb the emotions of others like a sponge, and when the darkness falls, those repressed absorptions bubble to the surface. You are hypersensitive to the most microscopic changes in people's attitudes. This level of perception should be a gift, but in the dead of night, it turns into a razor-sharp blade slicing through your peace of mind. 3. The illusion of problem-solving. Do you know why you literally cannot command your brain to stop thinking? Because deep down, your brain is lying to you. It's whispering. Worrying means you are solving the problem. People who toss and turn at night are usually highly responsible individuals who absolutely despise feeling out of control. Take this scenario. You're stressed about mounting bills or a massive project due next month. Instead of sleeping to recharge so you can actually tackle the work tomorrow, your brain forces your eyes open to stare at the ceiling. It forces you to map out Plan A, Plan B, and all the way to Plan Z. You are drafting a comprehensive 5-year life plan in your head at 3 a.m., convinced that if you stop thinking for even a second, disaster will strike. The brutal truth is, lying in bed worrying solves absolutely nothing, but it grants you a false sense of control. You mistake anxiety for practical action. Psychologists call this anxious rumination, chewing on a problem over and over again just to feel like you're doing something to fight back against the terrifying uncertainty of life. 4. The torment of covert perfectionism. Many nighttime overthinkers are covert perfectionists. They hold themselves to impossibly ruthless standards. The night isn't a time for them to rest. It is the time for a brutal, unforgiving personal performance review. Let's say you worked a solid 8 hours today. You did your chores, but you slipped up and spent 2 hours doom scrolling on your phone to decompress. When night falls, your brain will completely delete every single achievement you had that day. It will laser focus on those 2 hours of rest and put you on trial. You are so lazy. You should have finished reading that book. You should have worked on your side hustle. You are wasting your potential and your life. You drag a heavy chain of guilt into bed with you. You don't grant yourself permission to be exhausted, and you definitely don't grant yourself permission to make mistakes. You measure your human worth by your daily productivity, and when the night strips away the distracting noise of the day, you are forced to face your deepest, darkest fear. The fear that you are simply not good enough, no matter how hard you try. 5. A hyper-vigilant nervous system. Back in the prehistoric era, the tribe members who stayed awake at night to watch for predators were the most alert, sharpest, and most vigilant of the group. Fast forward to today, and your brain is still carrying that exact same genetic code. For an overthinker, the silence of the night doesn't signal safety. It signals a dangerous void. When there's no traffic noise, no buzzing phone notifications, and no urgent tasks to distract your brain, your mind instantly turns on its radar, sweeping the area for threats. But the threats aren't saber-toothed tigers anymore. They are deep, crushing, existential questions. Suddenly, in the dead of night, you ask yourself, what is the actual point of my life? Who am I in this massive, empty universe? Why do humans have to suffer so much? What if someone I love dies tomorrow? These thoughts crash into you like a tidal wave. Your brilliant mind refuses to power down. It craves meaning in everything. This is the hallmark of a profoundly deep intellect and a rich inner world. But the price you pay for it is your own tranquility. If you recognize 1, 2, or even all 5 of these traits within yourself, please hear this. Overthinking at night does not mean you are weak. It proves that you are a deep, analytical thinker with immense empathy and a brilliantly perceptive mind. However, your mind is a tool. Do not let it turn you into its slave. Next time the night falls and the relentless thoughts come knocking, gently remind yourself, I have done enough for today. The rest can be solved tomorrow, in the sunlight. Sometimes the bravest, most powerful action you can take isn't to keep fighting the thoughts, but to simply grant yourself permission to close your eyes and let go. What is the one thing you overthink about the most when the lights go out? Drop your story in the comments below. You might just find a kindred spirit waiting for you there. Don't forget to subscribe to Dark Deep Psychology so we can continue shining a light into the hidden corners of the human mind. See you in the silence of the next video.